Good evening, all fellow viewers. This is a magical, foggy evening in the San Francisco hills, coming to you from Mount Davidson. Mount Davidson is the highest peak in the city and county of San Francisco, and it has a long history of human interaction with the landscape, but most notably is that the diversity and success of many of escaped horticulturals do well here. You're looking at a good chunk of them here in the picture frame right now, but let's check them out, eh? So we're gonna start with one of the best. This is Fuchsia Megallanica. It's like Magellan, Magallanes. This is native originally to the temperate rainforests of southern Chile, and they thrive in environments that always stay above freezing. They don't like anything below freezing. You can't handle it, they'll die. It's in the Onagraceae. That's like the evening primrose family. And we also have this, I forgot the name of this guy because I was not expecting him. This Solanum here. Solanum, I know it's from New Zealand. I can tell you that. Look at that flower. It's so pretty. So it's I'll leave it in the comments. Excuse me, I'll leave it in the description. It if you live in the Bay Area, it can take over pretty easily. So anyways, here's a very mature, what looks to be probably Prunus serotina. I definitely can tell you that. That's the ornamental almond. This guy, it doesn't produce almonds, or I don't know, maybe it does. Okay, right next to this native, very beautiful native, these are the leaves of it, Sambucus racemosa. That's called the red elderberry. The red elderberry, still here, is it occurs a lot on the coastal forested areas of majority of Northern California. They prefer places that get more precipitation than you can imagine. That they can handle being in the dry places, but they really thrive in these more foggier places. So this massive, goodness, that is about, I'd say 150 feet tall. Big old Monterey cypress, otherwise known as Hesperociperus macrocarpa. Now, very abundant in all of Northern California's landscape. The Monterey cypresses, they're in the redwood family, the Cupressaceae, and they can get pretty big And quite amazing, really. I'm shocked by how huge it is. I've seen so many of them, but this one really is thriving. Probably can live up, not as long as a redwood. They're much shorter lived than the coast redwood or the sequoia dendron redwoods that are found in the Sierra Nevada. But I think they live about 100 something years, maybe more. Actually, no, longer than that. I think they can live to a max age of 500, unlike the coast redwood, which can live to a max age of about somewhere in between 3,000 and 4,000. So here's the bark of this Prunus serratina. I know you see these in the gardens all over the world, but they're definitely not native. They're, I think they're native to probably what is now Armenia or Azerbaijan, somewhere around that area. You know, the Caucasus Mountain region. Anyways, we're moving on. The sun is dawning on us, but at the peak of this Mount Davidson, there's quite a treat. But the whole hike is just delightful. So, what makes this place fascinating to come to is just the very jungle-esque man-made forest here, mixed in with all the other plants. The dominant tree are these, well, here's two of them covered in ivy, but these eucalyptus globulus, called the Eurobe in Asia, Australia, where they're native to, but here in America we call them like the blue gum or Tasmanian blue gum. They're native to much of southern Victoria in Australia and much of Tasmania in Australia. They really love these places that get good rainfall. They're very remarkably drought tolerant trees, but yeah, they formed this forest here that because of, if you can pay attention in the background, I'll keep it quiet very soon, the way the fog, when it rolls in, the leaves scoop up the water and then it falls. As it condenses on the leaf, it falls. So in a very heavy fog in these eucalyptus forests of coastal California, and of course all over the world, wherever they live, because they've been introduced as a pulpwood all over the world. I mean, we generally farm these things for toilet paper, pretty much. But yeah, some guy named Sutro thought it'd be a great idea to plant a shitload of them in California, especially on this hill on Mount Davidson. And yeah, they just left here pretty much. It was learned that it's not a very good lumber wood, not a very good construction wood. It's very porous, and look at that. Look at how beautiful this is. This very big Pteridium aquilinum. It's almost as big. It's like 5 to 6 feet tall. That's incredible. I feel like I'm in the forests of Tasmania with this guy. Of course, the ferns there are much bigger, but this is a close second. So big old Pteridium aquilinum here. And where the eucalyptus are native to, in Australia, they have Pteridium esculentum, very similar looking. Anyways, carrying on. So let's talk about the some of the pros of these eucalyptus trees being here. They provide excellent habitat for numerous small mammals and birds, and they provide nesting material with the seemingly endless amounts of leaves and twigs and bark that they drop. The shade that they provide allows for, more interesting flora, like ferns, like this wonderful Polysticum unitum, the western sword fern, the Sambucus racemosa, the red elderberry. You'd see this guy anywhere, regardless of eucalyptus. Mara fabaceae right here. And they are a tremendous source of nectar for hummingbirds, butterflies, and bees, and likely other things as well may use their nectar as a food source. Look at that trunk. A big old guy. Eucalyptus tree. Blue gum eucalyptus. There are like 900 different species of eucalyptus across the world, and I'd say a good 5 or 7 of them are grown here in California alone. Nice, huh? So, but let's talk about some of the cons of having eucalyptus trees growing everywhere amidst the native flora. Is they secrete an oil called eucalyptol. Hold on, let's just do this quick appreciation of this Fuchsia megalanica. Beautiful, huh? And so the eucalyptol has many properties, such as high flammability, a certain chemical structure that makes them allelopathic, which means that they actively make it more difficult for seedlings of other plants to make it. You might be thinking, looking at this, no, it doesn't. But no, it's some plants have a higher resistance or tolerance to the high levels of eucalyptol, namely the ones you see growing. But it does slow down the growth of maybe some other plants that are more locally abundant. Not this guy. Look at this beautiful Symphoricarpos albos. Family is the Caprifoliaceae, the honeysuckle family. It's all right. Thank you. Huh. Okay, one that's kind of just whatever, but is extremely abundant everywhere in coastal California, but really thrives under the eucalyptus trees, is this Rubus ursinus. This is, I think it's just called the California blackberry or something like that. It's our native blackberry. Fruits are pretty good. They're not as sweet as the ones from the grocery store, mainly because the ones from the grocery store have been selectively bred to be sweeter rather than more sour than they're supposed to be. So, quick tip, maybe find an heirloom or get the seeds of your local, if you're interested, get the seeds of some of your local blackberry species, native ones, and grow them, because that fruit, berries are some of the lowest on the glycemic scales, so they won't spike your blood sugar as much as the ones from the store would. So if you're trying to, watch out for the diabetes thing. But either way, let's carry on. And by the way, don't eat Sambucus racemosa. Berries, they will make you shit out your mouth and your ass. All right, here's some more of that Symphoricarpus albos, another plant that will give you severe diarrhea and vomiting if you eat the berries. Snowberry, Symphoricarpus albos, is in the honeysuckle family, Caprifoliaceae, and they do really well in these semi-shaded coastal forests. But frankly, even amongst if they're like, I don't see them grow like this much elsewhere. Somehow these do really well, and I'm pretty sure they were planted, so they were probably cared for a good while before they were on their own. And all right, now we have left the wonderful forests, the eucalyptus forests, and so yeah, you should read up on this for sure. Eucalyptus trees, because of the high volatility of their oils, the eucalyptol, pretty much whenever there's a wildfire, encourage exacerbation of the fire. They will increase the intensity. They have the capacity to, because all the stuff that they drop is just like, it's ridiculous. It's how much they drop. So yeah, they whenever the wildfire comes through, they will just, wherever there's eucalyptus trees, that fire is going to crank up the intensity to 11. And the trees, of course, don't consciously do that, but it's, of course, through millions of years of selective pressures of the environment that they're native to in Australia, being very dry and very warm and subject to frequent burning, they evolved to do that. So anyways, quick salute to the eucalyptus trees. Their family is the guava family. That's the Myrtaceae. Pretty dominant in much of the southern hemisphere, less so in the northern hemisphere. But if you're interested in a lot of the Myrtaceae, they are quite a spectacular family of flowering trees. So yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I gotta admire them for their resiliency. But now we are on the more open and exposed rocky habitat that can be found on the top of Mount Davidson, and also around, and also on the eastern side of the hill is more of an open grassland and chaparral environment. But only on the north side of this open exposed part of the hill, you're gonna see our good old friend Vaccinium ovatum, the black huckleberry. Now this one you can eat. Family is the blueberry family, Ericaceae. And these, when their new growth emerges, they have these pigments that act as basically natural sunscreen for the plant's tissues. And the soil composition here is of a rock called chert. This red kind of rock here. And chert has an interesting story. Unlike most rocks, it is actually comprised of organic material in a way. How it forms is silica-rich life forms that live in the ocean, of course, millions of years ago, die, and their remains, they're on silica base, their shells are made with silica compounds because it was bioavailable to them. Anyways, so these little microorganisms that live in the ocean, they die, right? And die over millions and millions of years, and then they form layers on the bottom of the ocean, and then more layers of other materials, say sediment or rocks or volcanic activity happens and buries that layer of the silica, shelled microorganisms. And of course, through tremendous heat and pressure, that then becomes lithified into a rock. And then, so if it's at the bottom of the ocean, how did it get to the top of a hill? That would be by plate tectonics. And so what had happened was this layer of chert was laid down and then formed. More millions of years later passed by, and in some series of geological events, probably by the Pacific plate being going like this and then moving like this layer of rock from the bottom of the ocean gets slapped onto the continent, and there you go. And then whatever layers were capping on top of the layer of chert erode away, of course, over more millions of years. And there you go, you're left with this. So, that being told, chert itself has very good drainage, which is pretty important for many plants. But it's not necessary to grow all of them that way, but they certainly appreciate it. So if you're wondering if your houseplant is dying, you could be, more than likely overwatering it, but there could be just terrible drainage. Or anyways, we won't go there. So we got Tyrella maxima right here, Saxifragiaceae. Oh God, I was here last week and they're already closed up shop. Man, that's fast. Anyways, and our native strawberry is right here. That'd be Fragaria. Wait, which one is this? That's Fragaria vesca. All right, carrying on, because we got a lot more plants. Ooh, and in a very close proximity. Anyways, Ribes sanguineum variety glutinosum. The family is Gracilariaceae. Great family, smells delicious. Here we have Herculeum maxima, and this thing is basically a giant carrot cousin. Pretty cool. It's in the Apiaceae. That's the carrot family. And what's this? We have the lovely twinberry. Here's its blooms. Twinberry is called Lonicera involucrata. It's in the honeysuckle family, Caprifoliaceae. All right, real quick. I'm trying to speed this up. Well, if I took this route... Oh, look at this. We got Berberis. Oh, which one is this? Is this Bipennatifida? Or... uh-oh. Can't remember. Definitely our native Berberis. Family is Berberidaceae. Barberry family. Very neat family. And we have Diplacus aurantiacus, otherwise known as the sticky monkey flower or orange bush monkey flower. Tomato, tomato. So, anyways, its family is the Phrymaceae. That's spelt with a P-H-R-Y. Phrymaceae. And very interesting family. Lots of diversity in the summer dry places of the world. But look at that little orange tubular flower. Very pretty. Hummingbird pollinated, mostly. Oh, look at this. We have, which one is this? Polypodium californica. Are one of the many ferns. A big slab of chert right there. The illustrious and beautiful Phacelia californica. Family is the Boraginaceae. Family of flowering plants that in drier parts of the world are characterized by the silvery blue foliage with lots of little hairs. And we also have the seaside daisy, Erigeron glauca. Very pretty. Family is Asteraceae. Oh, another Asteraceae is this guy. This is Anaphyllus margaritaceae. And its family, the daisy family, Asteraceae, comes in many different shapes and forms, sizes. This one is in a tribe of them called the Nephalioids. Anyways, commonly called the pearly everlasting, because when it blooms, these little daisy, well, they don't look like, you know, this. They look more like this was shrunken down to something half the size of it, and in clusters with none of the little flower petals. Anyways.